To fetch and display data directly within the list from a REST API, head over to the Component section. Look for a list component, then drag and drop an empty list onto your workspace. Great, we now have an empty list on the screen. Next, drag and drop the first card into the list. Feel free to remove the other cards for now. These items will render by default, so let's adjust the alignment. We'll align the content horizontally. We need to make the list dynamic, which means other cards will adopt the settings and styles of the first card. Let's change the scroll direction to vertical. Let's bump up the number of columns to 2. Now we should update our height. That looks much better. We can now rename our elements for clarity, especially when it comes to data mapping later. I'll name this element Card Title, but feel free to use any naming convention you prefer. Another one will be Card ID. Select the List section and click on Add Action. From here, I'll select a test HTTP request. Open the HTTP request. We want to fetch data and display it when the page is opened or reloaded, so I'll set the action trigger to On-Page Load. For the request method, choose Get since we're fetching data. As for the URL, enter this URL. You can give it a try with this URL. This API is publicly accessible, so we don't need any HTTP headers. It doesn't require specific headers since it's a public API, and GET requests typically don't need them in this case. I'll set the list here and click on Test HTTP Request. We've received a response from the API, and now we need to map this response to our elements. This is a list from the API containing objects within the list. Each object includes an ID, name, data, and within the data object, there are various properties.